In no particular order, here are the most counterfeit things. Wait until you find out how a guy who was caught with 200 million in fake money only got 6 weeks. Number 10. Watches. If there's a luxury good that's become sort of an icon for counterfeiting, it's definitely the luxury watch. Many eager buyers got scammed every day by so-called official retailers who pass off fake Rolexes as real Rolexes. Of course, there are also the people who are actually looking for the high-quality fakes. Experts have warned people to only buy from certified retailers, but the counterfeit industry, mainly based in, you guessed it, China, has gotten so good at it, counterfeit watches are virtually undetectable. It's becoming increasingly difficult to spot a fake watch, especially if it's sold online. The old rules of differentiating between a counterfeit and real watch simply don't apply anymore. Counterfeit manufacturers are now almost able to perfectly replicate the originals. Nowadays, they have the look and the same weight as real watches. High-quality counterfeits may even have the same movements. That's because some counterfeit manufacturers get the movement mechanisms from the same suppliers as the real companies. So, what's the easiest way to make sure you're buying a real watch? Well, unless you're an expert, just make sure you're buying from a certified retailer. Do us a quick favor and click the like button because it really helps us out. Number 9. Kobe beef. Interestingly enough, one of the most counterfeit items around the world is Kobe beef. It's the world's most famous red meat, but it's also misunderstood. Kobe is an actual place in Japan, and its beef is just one regional style of Japanese Wagyu. Wagyu beef is cultivated only in Japan with Japanese cattle, and Kobe is the most famous variant. Kind of like how champagne is only from Champagne, France. Kobe beef has become the most expensive delicacy in some of the most exclusive restaurants in the world. Only a sliver of the many restaurants claiming to serve it offer the real thing. Even higher-end restaurants such as Old Homestead and McCormick and Schmick's have passed off beef as Kobe when it wasn't. It's not only in the US do we get fake Kobe beef sold passed off as real Kobe. Asia is no exception to this rule. With the rise in popularity of Kobe beef, the creation of a black market also came along. Hong Kong, Singapore, and other high-paying Asian markets are the main targets. Only enough Kobe beef reaches the U.S. to satisfy the average yearly beef consumption of just 77 Americans. It's so rare, Kobe's marketing board actually licenses individual restaurants. Real Kobe beef is available at just 8 restaurants across the U.S. Next time someone tells you that they've had Kobe beef before, it's probably safe to call them out. Number 8. Consumer electronics. If technology has made us understand anything, it's that it has a strong appeal for everyone. So much so that millions of people get scammed yearly in their pursuit to obtain the latest tech gadget the market has to offer. The black market for fake electronics has become one of the largest industries worldwide. That's prompted the US government to take a closer look at what exactly is happening. In 2017, border agents reported 4,137 seizures of counterfeit consumer electronics, but there's still plenty that get through. But what exactly is the risk of using counterfeit consumer electronics? The main thing is safety. Many of the manufacturers haven't taken into account the proper security concerns that are necessary. Devices that depend on lithium-ion batteries are a clear example. If these batteries are poorly manufactured, they can easily overheat. This can make the device catch on fire, along with many other lesser complications. Because of the safety issues, the US government's hunt for counterfeit items has intensified over the years. Number 7. Perfumes and cologne. The hazardous counterfeiting of cosmetics has become a multi-million-dollar industry on an international level. China is the main manufacturer of fake cosmetics. The lure of fake luxury items has made people deal with terrible consequences. Counterfeit perfumes and colognes have been found with all sorts of weird substances. Traces of urine, antifreeze, and flammable liquids are just some examples of the stuff that's been found. At this stage, there's no way of knowing what's in your cologne or perfume if you bought it from an unknown source. Back in 2016, 5 men were arrested for the illegal distribution of counterfeit beauty products. That included fragrances from brands such as Chanel, Ralph Lauren, and Calvin Klein. ICE confiscated roughly 10,000 boxes containing counterfeit fragrances. They were destined for distribution to various businesses in the New York City area and e-commerce sites as well, according to Homeland Security investigator Angel Melendez. The Department of Homeland Security reportedly made 2,301 seizures in 2015. That was almost 25% more than the 1,841 seizures in fiscal 2014. Number 6. Cigarettes. Who knew that there are fake cigarettes floating around? But there definitely are, and the reason they exist is because of taxes imposed on cigarettes. Cigarette prices highly fluctuate from country to country. The country that has the most expensive cigarettes is Australia. Many countries in Europe have high prices as well, and that's why many people have devised ways to bring in cheaper cigarettes into those countries. Some people do get authentic cigarettes for cheap. They may buy from people that got cigarettes from a cheap cigarette country while on vacation, but that's not always the case. Many times, cheap cigarettes bought aren't real. The big problem is that many fake cigarettes are filled with hazardous chemicals. Yep, even worse than the bad additives that's already in real cigarettes. Famous brands have been looking to protect their image, and governments are trying to stop the sale of illegal cigarettes. Obviously, the main concern is safety. Some counterfeit cigarettes have even been found to contain arsenic. It's been reported that between 6 to 8.5% of all cigarette sales worldwide come from illegal trade. If you're enjoying learning about counterfeit things, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Number 5. Pharmaceuticals. If you thought there was a limit to what people are capable of doing, think again. This is the case of counterfeit medication. Certain individuals will do whatever it takes to profit off of people's illnesses. Experts have narrowed down illegal medicine produced into two groups: substandard medication and counterfeits. Substandard medications are created with similar chemical properties, but where they differ is in the amount of active ingredient. Typically, these medications will have some of the active ingredients, but not enough to tackle the symptoms. These medicines basically are just bad knockoffs or poorly made generics. Counterfeit medication, on the other hand, are medication made to pass off as the real thing. It's become a multi-million-dollar global industry that's become a problem everywhere. The majority of them are produced in India. Certain suppliers even offer different levels of counterfeit medication. At the top level are actual medications with all the active ingredients. At the bottom level are medications that's just plain chalk dust. The main concern is safety again. You just don't know exactly what you're getting in these medications. The fear of having the wrong amount of active ingredients or even expired chemicals has led authorities worldwide crack down on manufacturers. Counterfeit items don't just stop at things we buy. They extend to people we meet or people we see on TV. Watch our video, People Who Aren't Who They Say They Are, to find out about these counterfeit people. Number 4. Olive oil. Why is something as basic as olive oil counterfeited? Olive oil scams are profitable because making olive oil correctly is really hard. People just also aren't knowledgeable enough to know what's real and what's not. And that's why counterfeit olive oil is all over the place, because it's cheap to make and it's highly profitable. It's believed that roughly 80% of the Italian olive oil on the market is fraudulent. The olive oil in your kitchen marked Italian extra virgin is most likely fake, even if you bought it from your local grocery store. Either it's low-quality olive oil falsely marked as virgin or extra virgin, or it's olive oil mixed with other oils. At worst, it's not olive oil at all, but a vegetable oil disguised with coloring and aroma. There are ways to make sure you're getting the good stuff. Start with the bottle. It needs to be dark to avoid photooxidation of the oil. Make sure the label states clearly where it comes from. Beware of the imported from on the bottle. Typically, that means the oil is not from Italy. Lastly, high-quality real olive oil is not cheap. Number 3. Alcohol. Sometimes a lot of fun means a high price to pay. That's the case for alcohol consumption in general. But there's now new concerns regarding what people are actually drinking. Millions of people are taking high risks without actually knowing it. There exists a whole industry of counterfeit alcohol. It's produced through unregulated processes that are just plain dangerous. alcoholic beverages that are illegally produced have been a big issue in places such as India, Iran, and Indonesia. Most recently, tourists from the U.S. have been linked with counterfeit alcohol that's been causing a big mess in the Dominican Republic. Production costs for counterfeits are far lower than real alcohol. Since it's created without regulation, there are no known health or quality checks during the manufacturing process. According to the World Health Organization, almost 25% of all alcohol that is consumed worldwide is counterfeit. Number 2, money. All around the world, counterfeit money is made of all types of currencies. However, most cases surround US dollars. The way money feels is a big part of money security. The paper money is made in only one mill, and that mill makes only money. Typically, counterfeit money just looks and feels fake. But not this case from Canada. In May 2012, Canadian police seized $1 million worth of fake US bills. Officers on the scene were amazed by the quality of the counterfeit bills. Local man Frank Barassa was immediately charged and was the only suspect named. The police described the fake notes as virtually undetectable to the naked eye, as well as looking just right. The counterfeit bills felt identical to real notes, and they came with a dark vertical stripe that perfectly imitated the security thread on real bills. The level of production was so elaborate, the bills even had serial numbers printed on them with sequins, something quite uncommon with counterfeit money. Barassa was eventually only given a 6-week prison sentence, but that short sentence was most likely because he handed in a whopping $200 million in counterfeit bills before facing trial. But supposedly, he made $250 million worth of fake bills, so where's the other $50 million? Number 1, luxury items. You knew that luxury items were on this list. Fashion has always been the counterfeiter's biggest target. We all know of someone that has bought a fake designer handbag. The fake and counterfeit fashion industry has become so profitable, it's now equaled the economy of a country the size of Austria. With clunky designer sneakers rising in popularity in recent years, designer shoes are the newest targets for counterfeiting. Adidas Yeezys are one example and Balenciagas are another. Purses and clothing still aren't too far behind though. China is the mother of all production when it comes to counterfeit fashion items. Around 2.5% of global imports to the U.S. are counterfeit or pirated goods. This amounts to about $500 billion worth of merchandise, and these ill-gotten gains fund organized crime. Watch this next video to find out who are the real-life versions of counterfeits.